to me, investing is a lot like going to the grocery store, because when you go to the grocery store, there's a lot of options all around you, but there's different things we get. And so when we get our first job and we get our first 401k, maybe you go through and you pick a couple mutual funds and you throw them in the cart. And then maybe you get married and you need some term life insurance or mortgage replacement insurance, or you have kids, you need some, term. So you buy some term life insurance, all the different things you buy through your life. And each one of those things has a cost. And when I sit down and ask people, I say, well, how much do your investments cost you? They typically tell me, well, I pay about 1% per year. I say, you pay 1%. Where does that come from? Well, I pay an advisor 1%, and they manage my portfolio. So that is the cost of hiring a personal shopper to walk through the store for you and buy your investments. That is not the cost of the investments. Whether you shop or they shop, someone has to be paid on the other end for picking the stocks. And then you're paying a personal shopper, an advisor, to go around and find the ones that you should use. So there's two sets of fees, but yet we only really are aware of the one. So that's one of the biggest issues I see. People have no clue what they're paying in fees because they think I'm just paying this advisor, but yet you have this, these growth funds, a Vanguard fund, a Fidelity fund, or whatever. And the person who works at Vanguard, the person who works at American funds, they get paid as well because they're the one actually picking the stocks and buying and selling and manage the portfolio. So when we go through and understand this, that yes, I have pay an advisor, but I also have to pay for the investments. And then we start digging in. There's just alternatives, and a lot of times a less expensive way to the same end. Not everything is right for everybody. So a lot of people say, listen, I don't want to deal with that. I did, I was a pipe fitter for 40 years, or I sold cars, or I did whatever, and they just don't want to deal with it. But at the end of the day, if the grocery cart that you have full of investments is 2 to 3% more expensive than it should be, you could save a whole lot of money in your life by not overpaying in fees.